Good evening. The eyes of the world were on the White House today, where President Trump convened a critical summit with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky and a delegation of top European leaders. The agenda was formidable: to forge a path towards ending the devastating war in Ukraine, a conflict that has claimed countless lives and destabilized global politics. After hours of intense closed-door negotiations, the leaders emerged with a message of cautious hope but no definitive breakthrough. The air was thick with a mixture of anticipation and palpable tension. Tonight, we will go beyond the official statements. We'll provide an in-depth analysis of the key moments, unpack the major sticking points preventing a final agreement, and explore the profound implications this summit holds for the future of international security. Here are the crucial takeaways from a day that could reshape this conflict. Takeaway 1, a remarkable display of outward unity. This was far from guaranteed. Given President Trump's history of pointedly criticizing NATO allies over defense spending and his America First foreign policy, many analysts predicted a tense, fractured summit. The potential for public disagreement was exceptionally high, with the stakes being nothing less than the future of European security and the credibility of the Western alliance in the face of Russian aggression. Instead, what we witnessed was a carefully choreographed performance of cohesion. The body language, firm handshakes, direct eye contact, and the meticulously aligned public statements all projected a unified front. Leaders from the US, France, Germany, and the UK repeatedly stressed their shared immediate goals: achieving a sustainable ceasefire and creating a concrete framework for direct negotiations. This wasn't just for the cameras. It was a powerful strategic message directed squarely at Moscow, signaling that any potential peace deal brokered by Trump would have the full weight and backing of a united Western alliance, a crucial factor for any agreement to be considered credible and lasting. Takeaway 2, the thorny issue of security guarantees took center stage. This is the absolute core of any potential deal, the element upon which everything else hinges. For Ukraine, this is paramount. The ghost of the 1994 Budapest Memorandum, where security assurances were given in exchange for nuclear disarmament, only to be flagrantly violated, looms large over these talks. As a result, Kyiv is demanding something far more concrete than vague promises. They want legally binding treaty-level commitments that are functionally equivalent to NATO's Article 5. The debate is no longer about will there be guarantees, but will they take? Will it be a bilateral defense pact with the United States, modeled on agreements with Japan or South Korea, or a so-called coalition of the willing led by European powers? Today, leaders wisely avoided defining specifics. Committing to troop deployments, massive long-term funding, and ironclad legal pacts requires complex and likely contentious legislative approval in each nation's capital. This summit successfully set the stage, but the truly difficult work of drafting these historic and potentially costly agreements will be the focus of intense negotiations in the weeks to come. Takeaway 3, a classic Trumpian diplomatic bombshell. It was revealed that President Trump has already been in direct contact with Vladimir Putin. Sources close to the talks confirm Trump has personally proposed brokering a face-to-face meeting between President Zelensky and the Russian leader, a summit he would personally attend and mediate. This is a dramatic move that bypasses traditional, often slow-moving diplomatic channels, reflecting Trump's preference for personal, top-level negotiation. This places the entire peace process squarely on his shoulders, an incredibly high-risk, high-reward strategy. While President Zelensky has long stated his willingness to meet Putin directly to end the war, European allies are reportedly wary, concerned that Trump might be too eager to cut a deal. Officials stress that only preliminary groundwork is being laid with no date or location set, but the significance cannot be overstated. A summit between the leaders of the two warring nations would be the most pivotal moment of direct diplomacy since the invasion began, carrying the potential to break years of deadlock. But that leads to the final crucial point. Despite the overall positive atmosphere, a list of unresolved issues remains. The summit produced an agreement to talk, but not an agreement on substance. The toughest questions were all deferred. The issue of territory is always a potential deal breaker. Will Ukraine be forced to formally cede Crimea or parts of the Donbass, territories Russia has occupied for years? How could such a concession be reconciled with the fundamental principles of international law and national sovereignty? Then there's enforcement. Who would police a ceasefire line, a UN peacekeeping force, which Russia could veto in the Security Council? A new multinational coalition? And what about justice? Will there be accountability for war crimes? And who will pay the hundreds of billions of dollars in reparations needed to rebuild Ukraine? Today's meeting was a critical first step, but it merely opened the door to a diplomatic labyrinth. The path from a show of unity to a lasting, just peace is still incredibly long and fraught with danger.
From the White House, the takeaways are complex. President Trump said he would continue his direct outreach to Putin, a controversial strategy among his allies. In stark contrast, President Zelensky pressed for unambiguous, legally binding security commitments, not just vague promises. European leaders agreed to continue the dialogue, striving to present a united front despite internal divisions on how best to proceed. The next 48 to 72 hours will be a critical test of this fragile consensus. Diplomatic teams are now tasked with the monumental challenge of drafting potential guarantees and a framework for direct talks. The core question remains: will these be NATO-style collective defense pacts or something less formal? This process will reveal how far everyone is willing to go, and it will demonstrate the true fault lines in the Western alliance.
The toughest choices are still ahead, forcing leaders to weigh the immense costs of continued conflict against the difficult compromises required for a lasting peace. The outcome will have profound implications for Europe and the West's security and international order for decades to come. We will continue to follow every development. Thanks for watching, and please like and subscribe to keep truth alive.